Wilder, and I have come here to talk to you about my life. I lived in the pioneer days of America, and I was born on February 2nd, 1867. When I was growing up, there was no electricity or any kitchen appliances. We walked and traveled by horses, and we had dirt floor houses. The kinds of things that kids do for fun nowadays, like knitting and sewing and crocheting, were considered chores back then because we had to do it. We made our own soap for washing, and we'd relax and sew on some days. Ma would mend while me and Carrie and Mary would practice on scraps. We could have used a sewing machine, but we preferred not to. It took a week to mend, wash, iron, and cook, but that's because Pa didn't help because it was considered women's work. My Pa played a big role in my life. As a 13-year-old, I helped him build the house, except he would often have to leave to trade and do business. He would leave me to do the work. From ages 5 to 13, I went to school in D-SNAP. I was the best pupil, and I studied reading, math, science, history, spelling, and grammar. I had 3 sisters, Grace, Mary, and Carrie, but I like Mary the most. I'm not very much like her, though, because she's a very, indoor person who likes to sew and knit, whereas I like to, run and play outside and be carefree. Here's a poem that I wrote about her. Who is it? Trust me without a doubt, and here she knows what I am about. Who will come quickly to help me out? My sister Mary. I started working at age 10 to get 25 cents for Mary's college fund. My favorite job was arranging the spoons. Later on, I married Almanza Wilder, and I had a daughter named Rose. I started teaching in schools, and my class had 5 students. 2 were older than I was. After that, I got bored of teaching, and Rose encouraged me to write a book. I wrote all my books based on the house I lived in. I also wrote articles for the newspaper. My name was signed Mrs. A.J. Wilder because I thought it would carry more authority than Miss Laura Ingalls Wilder. Children were and still are interested in my books, and there were at least 150 letters written to me, and I try to answer every one. I was asked to speak at lots of schools and homes and clubs. I died at age 90, but I still live on in my books, never to be forgotten. On my poster, I have a picture of a covered wagon, like the one that we used to ride in, or I would have rode in. And then in the envelopes, I have letters that were written to me, which I will read one of them after I finish explaining my poster. And then I lived in Kansas on the prairie for a little bit of my life. There were lots of tornadoes, and there was the blizzard of 1880. And so I drew a picture of that. And then this is me churning butter because we had to do that, and we would often mold it into strawberry shapes to look nice on the table. And then on here, one of my letters was written by a 6-year-old. This is, Dear Laura, I'm in the 1st grade. I am very glad you won the prize. I am 6.5 years old and in the 1st grade. I cut your picture from the paper. And then I have another one here, but if you are interested, you can see it later. Question. Hunter, what's the picture next to the one of churning butter? This one? This is a picture of me being just messy and carefree, because that's my personality.
I have.
Natalie? Well, I had read a little bit of her books, and I thought it was true, and I thought it was kind of interesting, except at first I didn't really like them, but Isabel encouraged me to do it, and so I chose Ingalls Wilder.
Did Mary really go blind?
Yes.
Okay, just wondering. Thank you.